Welcome to episode 4 of Die Hard. Thank you guys for being here. All of the feedback, all of the comments has been overwhelmingly positive from these episodes. I'm super stoked to be doing it. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've wanted to have a podcast, or people have told me I should have a podcast, and this has been great. I'm so happy. Big week. A lot of exciting things happened since we last spoke. I went to Austin, Texas, had 5 sold-out shows at the Comedy Mothership. Shout out to my boy Brant Tobler. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that he used to open for me everywhere, and now he's like the mayor of Comedy Works, which is one of the best clubs in the world. It's in Denver, and Brant is always there. If you've been to Comedy Works in Denver, you have seen Brant Tobler if you've been there in the last like 6 or 7 years or however long, maybe 8 years. So it was awesome to have Brant there. It was very fun. I tried to get him some spots, but that's not how it works at Mothership. Mothership has a real Comedy Store style of the way it works. And so if you're not like a Mothership guy, you don't get to be on stage. Like they have to like kind of pass you and vet you. But getting to hang out with Brant every single day in Austin was awesome. I had so much fun. Shout out to Texas. I love you guys so much that I will be buying a home in Texas. I won't be there full time like Brendan Schaub and Callan and all these other guys, but I will 100% be buying a home there. Texas shows up so hard for me. It was amazing to have 5 sold out shows at the best or like the most famous comedy club was so overwhelmingly awesome. Also on Friday, Shane Gillis stopped by since he lives in Austin and ran his ESPYs monologue for my audience on the shows. It was so fun. I've never met Shane Gillis, so I'm a little starstruck actually, if I'm honest. Like when he walked in, I was kind of like, oh, because it's not just like he's a famous person. He's like one of the most famous people in my job. So it'd be like if Dave Chappelle's just in your green room, or Louis C.K. for, you know, like Shane, as modest as he is and as an everyday kind of guy as he is, he's one of the most famous comedians in the world. And it's just to have him in the green room. He's like, hey, is it cool if I run I was like, dude, I know he was doing it just to be polite, but like it was like laughable that he would ask me if he could do a spot in his club. Really, he's an Austin guy. That's his club, and he was just. But it was just like shows how he knows comedy, how he knows how comedy works, like the etiquette of being like, do you mind if I'm on your shows? Doing what? He was just a class act. He crushed it. Afterwards, we hung out. We got to hang out with him a little bit in Mitzi's, just while we were sitting there. So he came up and talked. I will say this about Shane Gillis for all of my diehard fans, to all my diehards. He's tough to get into a rhythm with, as far as when you're conversing with them. So comics love hanging out with other comics. That's our whole circle. And Shane is very unique in the fashion that like when you try to zig, he zags. So like this might be too inside baseball for my listeners, but like if I'm telling a story where there's like some drunk idiot who's saying, you know, inappropriate things and he's heckling me and whatever, Shane's like sensibilities would be to be like, that guy sounds like he rules because it's funny. But if I'm like, and then this guy was saying this and he was hilarious, he was heckling me, and then Shane would be like, dude, that guy sucks. Like he zigs when you zag, which is very hard to get into like rhythm with. Whereas every other comedian I've ever met, it's a lot easier to like get into a thing with. So I thought that was interesting. So I felt like while I'm starstruck that he's talking to us and hanging out, I was also like a little like, man, I don't know how to like it was like jump rope. Like I didn't know how to get in with what he was saying.
So instead of yes and, he's yeah but.
Right. And that's tough. Yeah, it was very tough. For anybody who might not understand that, like in improv, they say to yes and. So whatever the suggestion is, whatever the premise that's brought up, you agree and then add on to it. And in stand-up comedy, and definitely in the way Shane Gillis speaks, it's very like no but. You're like, wait, what? Like, what is going on here? But it was awesome to have him there, and Austin was a dream. And which brings me into what I wanted to talk about next. Shane Gillis, crushed it on the ESPYs. And I don't want to slaughter any of the jokes, but I do want to give some. I don't want to show you a clip. I'm just going to tell you some of my favorite jokes from the thing. One of my favorite jokes was just this like throwaway idea of he goes, Carl Anthony Towns is here. Hey girl. Such a good joke. If you don't get it, Carl Anthony Towns is a giant New York Knicks basketball player who is very zesty. Like the internet loves to post anytime he speaks kind of gay or homosexual. Excuse me. So that was a good joke. I love that he said when Caitlin Clark retires from basketball, she's going to work at Waffle House so she can continue her passion of fighting black women. Fist fighting black women. Such a good job. I mean, he was just literally fearless. The crowd sucked, as always. What's going on with athletes? How are you so cool, so athletic, so, like, we think you're so cool. Society agrees you're the coolest. What is wrong with your sense of humor? That being said, a lot of the bros in the audience were loving Shane Gillis. But for the most part, like Diana Taurasi, like she wouldn't even look at the screen when Shane Gillis said, just give her some respect. He didn't even have a joke about her. He just said, here's some legends in the house. And he named all the people. And Diana Taurasi, like as like a political statement, like didn't even want to acknowledge that Shane Gillis said her name. All the like what was it? Simone Biles' date. I don't even know if he's a pro athlete or not, but like he was just like stone. Like there was such a like attitude of like.
I think he's a defensive back in the NFL.
Oh, so he is an NFL player. Yeah. So there was a lot of like, this ain't why you playing with us? Like don't be you goofing around. Who's this corny white guy?
He's also famous for being the dumbass that said he was the A side in the relationship between him and Simone Biles. And notice we don't know his name, right?
Never. Yeah, that's why I said Simone Biles' date.
Right.
The whole thing was just very, very strange to watch them receive the jokes from Shane Gillis. So a lot of things I'll hear after shows at the meet and greet, like if a table doesn't like me or if there's a woman that is like stonewalling me, in my comedy shows, a lot of times at the meet and greet, I'll hear people go, oh man, we were watching that guy the whole time. Or, oh my gosh, you were great. We were watching that table in the front, not like you the whole, like, yeah, there's always like them telling me how interesting they found it to watch someone observe me. And I felt like that during the ESPYs because I think Shane's so funny and he's such a star, but also like, I thought the jokes were good and fearless. And it was weird to watch those jokes be received so poorly by some. Anyways, Shane crushed it. It was so funny. I have a bit in my act where I just start naming, I say women's names in basketball, and I just start going, why do I have to like Angel Reese? I like all the other female black athletes that are in the WNBA, like such and such and such, and I name like 10 names, and then I go, by the way, those aren't real names. I'm just making names up, and it's whatever. Shane kind of did a joke like that at the ESPYs where he said, so-and-so is here, 4-time WNBA All-Star, and everyone clapped for her, and it was just Matt McCusker's wife. So I feel like I can't do that bit anymore. Like as far as like that bit is now dead, because anyone who's gonna like that bit's gonna go, well, Shane did that at the ESPYs, so that's gone from my act. But it was a great stinking joke and so funny. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So cheers to Shane Gillis. Very, very funny stuff. Also this week, the MLB All-Star game. I am a fan of this my entire life. I mean, so many things to say about the MLB All-Star game. Apologies to anyone who listens to this and is like, Jeff Dye is going to talk about baseball again, but I love it. And if you're a diehard, you're here for this. The All-Star game is fun because it doesn't matter. Even back in the day when it did matter, it's a little out of your hands anyways, so it doesn't really matter that much. It used to be for home field advantage in the World Series. They stopped doing that. They were like, this is absurd. And baseball has a great track record of changing things. For a sport that's so old and criticized as being slow and boring, they're so good about changing things. They're constantly making new rules. They're constantly listening to their audience. They're not good at punishing teams for cheating, but they're great at like changing things and coming up with things, finding new ways to challenge things so that there's no bad calls. One of the things they listen to their audience about is the MLB All-Star Game famously used to have all the players who were on the home team wear their home uniforms of whatever team they're from, and the road team wear their road uniform of whatever team they play on. But over the years, MLB got a little greedy and was like, we should make special uniforms for the American League and the National League because they want to sell them at the team store, and guys like me scoop them up, and they make a lot of money. But there's been an overwhelming kind of push by the fans on social media to say, like, let them wear their team uniforms again. And baseball listened and completely, or not completely, they let them wear their uniforms, and it looked so cool. It was so nice to have that back. And they still made American League and National League uniforms for the Home Run Derby and the festivities that are on before the actual All-Star game. So you could still sell those or buy those or whatever. But they let them go back to their uniforms, which I thought was awesome. Also, this is the first time ever that Major League Baseball had the team challenging balls and strikes, which is a thing that's in the minor league that they're considering bringing. And they're like, let's try it in the All-Star game. So it's really fun to watch. Like the Cal Raleigh, the catcher, thinks that he thinks it's a strike when the umpire called it a ball. He taps his helmet. They go to the big screen, so the fans, the pitcher, everybody gets to see if it's a ball or strike, and they use the thing. And both times they did it, that I remember only two, but maybe they did it more. Both times they got it. The catcher got it right, which I then felt a little uncomfortable. Because with the whole audience going, oh, it is a strike, and the pitcher being like, see, and the catcher going, oh, it's like, it does feel a little dirty to the umps. It feels like a little, like, because the
It's like any call that gets reversed, though.
But with the other calls that get reversed, like, they go to a little area where they decide to come back out and go, after reviewing the play. This one was just on the big screen. So it was like, and then the batter is in because one of them was on a strike 3 to my guy, Randy Arozarena from the Seattle Mariners. And he's just sitting there like, really? And then the catcher and the pitcher are like smiling, looking at the umpire. Like, it felt very in your face because they don't let the umpire reveal it himself, and they don't let the umpire decide, oh, hey, I got that wrong. In the name of baseball gods and getting things right, here's the right call. It just felt like an in-your-face reveal. But I still like it, and I think that the umpires should like it too, because you want to get all these calls right, which is the spirit of the challenge. What makes the challenge so good is that, so many times in history, one that comes to mind first every time is there was a pitcher for the Tigers who was throwing a no-hitter. And on the final out, he might have had a perfect game, actually. I can't recall. On the final out, there's a grounder to make a play at first, and they claim that the runner was safe, but the runner was out, which would have been, I believe, a perfect game for, it was a perfect game. Armando Galarraga, I'm looking it up, obviously, on the screen here. And so that missed call cost him a no-hitter and a perfect game it seemed pretty clear. But then the next day, the umpire went on television and he was like crying. He's like, I feel so bad that I missed this call. The umpire was like so shook by it that everyone has let it go because the umpire was so nice to say, like, dude, I'm sorry. I mean, it's pretty clear. And yeah, I'm watching it right now. That's why I stopped talking. But what's crazy about this is that this would have been a great moment for a challenge. Because with the challenge, this guy gets a perfect game. He gets the no-hitter. I mean, look at that. I mean, couldn't be more safe. Or sorry, more out. And like that, they were ready to celebrate. Look, Miggy, everybody's ready to celebrate. But at this year of baseball, whenever it was, there was no challenge. There's no way to this umpire just has to right now, even as he knows he might be wrong or he could have been wrong, he's sitting there going, what do you want me to do, dude? I called him out. Like, it's out. And so it's very, very sad, very strange. We need more of these things. Anyways. The All-Star Game also had a little feature that shows how unique and fun and silly and willing baseball is to change things. It was a home run swing-off, which was so cool. I guess this was implemented in 2022, but because there's never been a tie, they've never had to do this. In an All-Star game, since it's just supposed to be a fun weekend for the players who are the best in the league that season and their families, you don't want anyone getting hurt. You don't want any pitchers getting exhausted. You don't want any guys, trying so hard in the home run derby that it throws off their swing. You don't want any of those things. So to kind of make sure a game doesn't go 15 innings or 12 innings or 16 innings, what they do is they've made a new rule. All right, we're going to stop the game after 9, and then if it's tied, we will do a home run swing-off where each league picks 3 batters, and each of those 3 batters gets 3 swings, and whoever has the most home runs wins the game, which is so fun. I'm shocked this has been around since 2022. I've never heard of it.
I hadn't either.
Yeah, so while I'm watching the All-Star game, I go, it's tied. I go, all right, this is going to be fun. More innings, because they came back in the 9th. I was very excited about that. The AL came back from, being down by 6. And so they come all the way back, and in the final inning, they score 2 runs to tie it up. I'm all excited. And then they go, oh, well, this game won't go into extra innings. And I was like, well, what are they supposed to do? And I guess I'm the only one who didn't know that this was a thing. And so they go, home run swing off. And I go, who came up with this? Me? Is this my idea? Like, did someone get into my heart and brain and go, here's something Jeff Dye would like? So anyways, it was very awesome to watch. I was very pissed. And to anybody who also felt this way, I've done all the homework for you. So if you were listening to the manager, Aaron Boone, name the guys that he wanted, which was Rooker from the Oakland Athletics, a Rosarina from the Seattle Mariners, and then he said Aranda. If anybody was listening to that going, why didn't he pick Cal Raleigh, the guy who just won the home run derby and leads the league in home runs right now, which is a record for catchers. Like, he's crushing right now as in the home run chase or whatever it's called. If you were thinking to yourself, why didn't he pick Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge? And why didn't the manager, Dave Roberts, pick Shohei Ohtani? I've done the homework. Here's why. Because it's an all-star game, and this is supposed to be like a short little break for the players in what is a very long season in baseball, Aaron Judge was already out of uniform. Once they pulled him from the game, he got cleaned up and he was going to go do more, whatever he wants to do because it's his week. It's supposed to be his weekend off. Shohei Ohtani, I heard, wasn't even in the building. Not only did he get cleaned up, but I think he left. I don't even think he was on the property, so he can't pick those 2. Cal Raleigh, though, Seattle Mariner fan, huge fan of what Cal's doing this year and just love him in general. A lot of you guys might have been like me going, why is Cal Raleigh's right there? Pick him. I guess he had already been out of the game for almost like 45 minutes. And so to, people that know our bodies better than I do, like trainers and all these people, for him to get cooled down and then try to start taking hacks or start getting warm again on what you'd need to do to hit a home run just puts you in a little bit of risk of getting injured or tweaking something or pulling a muscle is what I was told. And so they decided to not use Cal just because that's the whole point of these all-star game rules and extra inning swing-offs is because you don't want someone to get hurt. And so Cal just won the home run derby the day before. He's probably a little sore and whatever, like from doing that. That's pretty physically demanding. So they were like, let's just let him chill and but bring in Aranda, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Aranda is, most people have never even heard of Aranda out there, let alone as a home run hitter. But anyways, it was super fun to watch. I also predicted it. My boy Eric and my boy Bowers were there when I verbally predicted it. I said Schwarber's going to hit all 3. That was a great choice. Kyle Schwarber is the most underrated guy in the league when it comes to hitting dingers. If Schwarber wouldn't have had injury issues, like we would be talking about Schwarber much differently. Anyone who knows baseball, they give Schwarber plenty of credit. But I think he's very underrated to the everyday baseball, just a person that just goes to baseball games. We should be knowing Schwarber's name a lot more. He's such a beast. They just showed Tarek Skubal right there, and he was like out of uniform, dressed like a rock star. So it's a great example of how a lot of these players, once they were out of the game, they were really out of the game. But the All-Star game was great. Very fun to watch. I loved every second of it. And now we continue to the rest of the season where Cal Raleigh is going for the single season home run record. He's on pace to do it. We'll see if he can pull it off. Cal Raleigh is a very unorthodox looking baseball player. He kind of looks like just a regular guy. And it's so fun to watch a guy who looks like that be a star and having to watch everyone go, oh yeah, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, They always go by his nickname because it might be the most interesting thing about Cal because Cal is such a regimented, humble, chubby looking, he's a catcher. So he's all like X's and O's. He's kind of a doctor out there. So it's very exciting to see what Cal's doing. And it's also exciting to see him get some coverage, up there in the Pacific Northwest. We don't get a lot of love. All right. Let's talk Bill Burr. I've gotten tons of tweets and texts from people that I've been pretty critical of Bill Burr online. So here's the thing. The only reason I went after Bill Burr is because I like Bill Burr. I'm a fan of Bill Burr's. I've always been a fan of Bill Burr's. I think he's one of the greatest comedians who's ever lived. I think he's, on my Mount Rushmore for stand-up comics. I think Bill Burr is a genius. Why do I like Bill Burr? And why did I like Bill Burr so much in the past? Well, to me, he was fearless. He was willing to say what audiences are like, oh shit, did he say that? Similar to what Gillis did at the ESPYs. Bill Burr used to be this fearless, honest guy. To go on network television and just dunk on house moms was unbelievably fearless. He's willing to be funny and honest despite how it might sound when it comes to being politically correct or being whatever. Bill was truly, truly fearless. And why I've been so critical of Bill Burr is because when it comes to politics or just what we consider everyday life now, Bill has kind of lost his edge. Bill Burr is he'll say that he does, why are you even asking me that? Oh my gosh, he said to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan asked him about the mask mandate or asked him about COVID or something. And Bill Burr looked at him like Joe was the biggest piece of trash. And he's like, I'm not going to sit here with you not being an expert talking to me who's not an expert about blah, 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 blah. He was like, and I was like, but Bill, you're not an expert about any of the things you talk about. None of us are experts about anything. That's what makes comedians fun, is that we just go up there and talk. Why? That's my biggest criticism of Bill Burr, is that he's lost his balls, which is ironic because listen to this. This is what he said to the press about politics.
Him. What do you think of all the boycotts, even the violence?
I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. I have no idea what's going on. I watch Instagram. I watch people wipe out on motorcycles. I watch lions and hyenas fight each other. This is the things that I do. And I don't think you should be asking a comedian. You're a journalist.
Comedians are on top of current events.
No. That's weak. That's you guys passing the buck. You guys need to have balls again, which you don't. You guys always goes, should we be thinking this? Duh. You guys present stuff like that. You guys used to have balls. You need to get your balls back.
All right.
And it's not my...
I would say, Bill, you need to get your balls back. You used to be a guy who would literally say whatever you're thinking. You would just go out there fearlessly and make jokes. And that's my criticism. Not that Bill Burr has become liberal. Not that Bill Burr might disagree with Jeff Dye about any subject. My criticism is that you should be talking about these subjects, whether you want to be liberal about it or conservative about it. We want to hear your opinion about it, Bill, because we like you. I deserve, as a fan, a 1-hour special from Bill Burr about COVID. How is the world shut down and we're having to wear masks and we can't leave our house and we're there's a big great debate about whether big pharma should be giving us the jab or we should be getting this COVID vaccine? Whether you think that the COVID vaccine is amazing or a scam, I want to hear your opinion. I deserve to hear Bill Burr's opinion about what is going on. why are you copping out like, wow, you're asking a comedian? Yes, we're asking you because you're a genius and you're one of the most brilliant and hilarious minds of our generation. And your cop out is like, nah, I don't talk about that stuff. Why are you asking a comedian? When is Bill Burr going to get his balls back? I want to hear your take. If George Carlin was alive, he would have done 3 hours about COVID and Donald Trump and all these different things. But Bill somehow, under the guise of Disney, under the guise of whatever money that they're filling your pockets over there with all things comedy or Disney or Star Wars or whatever the heck you're doing, Bill, you've decided to completely shut down what we loved about you. You used to be fearless. You used to be able to say whatever. You have become, oh no, I'm just going to be this actor over here who doesn't talk about this stuff. And if I want to play nice with all my liberal actor friends, I have to pretend like I'm not what all of my fans loved about me. So I'm more just disappointed. That's what comedians are supposed to be doing. Comedians, whether we want to be liberal or Republican or absurd or musical or whatever the thing is, we're supposed to be talking about these things. You can be whatever you want, but just talk about it. Don't be silent. It makes no sense. And Bill Burr, the reason I went after him on Twitter, or at least mentioned that I disagree with him on Twitter, which is hardly going after someone, was because a lot of my friends are losing their houses in the fire or having to evacuate their apartments that they rent from fires. Some people lost their whole homes and moved to different states, and the city mismanaged it, did terrible with it. And Bill Burr, instead of being, having his balls and going after Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom and saying like, dude, this was a problem, or having some empathy for the people that lost their homes, Bill decided to go on Jimmy Kimmel and say this.
Very good to see you. I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff. So I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet,
Yeah, right. I know. It's right.
Oh, my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? And then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA, sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
You know about helicopters because I remember, and it's interesting now thinking about it, because you said that.
About it. I know about the one that I fly. Other than that, I don't know anything about it.
You know
but
something.
If you're on the internet, you know everything.
I hope you know about it because you said that you
Here's the thing.
got your
I don't have to be a surgeon to know that when a guy's arm is cut off and he's bleeding all over my living room floor, that there's a problem there. An empty reservoir, when fire departments coming on TV and saying like, hey, we don't have water for this, we need a lot more help. Like you don't have to be a fire expert to know that this thing was a disaster, and a lot of people lost a lot of stuff, and a lot of people, losing your home is not nothing. There's nothing small about that. It's a very, very big deal. So the whole thing was kind of strange that he took this take. And it's like, why? Like, why would that be your take? Should we all just be quiet? He's so like, there's a way to argue called argument of authority. And so like, if I say, oh, people shouldn't get an abortion or something, they'll go, all of a sudden, what are you, an expert? Are you a women's health specialist? Do you have a degree in these things? So it's called an argument of authority. And you could just do that to everyone all the time and basically suggest that none of us should talk about anything unless we're an expert in that field. And so it's like, well, you shouldn't be talking about comedy, Jeff. And I'm like, well, I'm a professional comedian. And they're like, yeah, but you don't have as much years under your belt as a professional comedian as Bill Burr. So Bill Burr should be able to talk about comedy, but nothing. It's like, that's not how the world works. You can talk about whatever the hell you want. It doesn't take a genius or a fire expert to know that this was a disaster. This was like a pretty big deal. And so I just think it's weird. I just think it's cringy the way Bill Burr has approached things in the last 6 years. We've never needed a Bill Burr more, and we've gotten nothing. For the last 6 years, since COVID, Black Lives Matter, Ukraine, Hamas, the Middle East, all of these subjects, where the fuck has Bill Burr been? What happened to you, dude? We need you back. So, Bill Burr, get your balls back, is what I think. We deserve to hear your opinion about these subjects, as we love you, and we've given you our money, and we've given you our time, and we've revered you as one of the greatest voices of our generation. Like, where'd you go, dude? We miss you. Somebody call the real Bill Burr. I don't know what this guy is. Yeah. Should we look at some baseball shit? We might redo this segment if you guys enjoy it. Me and my producer, Mike Nell, shout out to Mike, have, the way we did the first pitches where I watched those and gave some opinions about it. We're going to do it with the best fan catches. Now, before we start, let me tell you a little bit about foul balls. It is very, very, very hard to catch a foul ball statistically. Balls do go into the fans every game multiple times, but to catch one without a bounce, without shuffling to it on the ground, without it bouncing off something, is very difficult to do. The odds are rare, but you only get one shot to catch that thing, and you don't always know where it's going to go. Blah blah blah. Here's the thing. There are people, they've made a documentary about this, that spend their entire lives going to baseball games to try to catch a foul ball. There are old men who are like, I just got to catch a foul ball before I die. It's like there's so much chance mixed with so much like ability. The pressure's on and you got to be able to catch it. There might not be a ball that comes towards you the rest of your life. So anyways, I always talk about this. I always say, man, as I've been to thousands of baseball games at this point in my life, I hope that I someday get a chance, and balls that come near me. I'm sitting at Dodger Stadium, Colorado Rockies versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. On the bump is Yamamoto, is one of his first games in America. And one of the Rockies fouls a ball straight back. This thing's screaming. And I'm in the 200 level. And that's the only way you can really get a ball back there because the net is so high behind the batter. It goes just over the net and starts screaming right towards our section. Famous Jeff Dye, not paying attention. Very much Jeff just trying to goof around with his buddies. I'm eating an ice cream. I've got an ice cream and I'm like talking to my friend. I just heard everyone make a sound that sounds like panic. Like when a gunfire happens and that sound of panic afterwards where everybody's kind of like whatever. I could hear that noise while I'm talking to my buddy Cole. And then I turn, and there's just a baseball right here. So total instincts of just, I played baseball my whole life, or always screwing around with the baseball. So I turned, and I went crack. Like, I just caught the ball. I didn't get up, holding ice cream. I didn't stand up. I didn't do anything. I just snatched my hand out, and then I held it there like it was no big deal, but I was in shock. I was, in total shock that it happened. It was the greatest moment of my life. I've had a lot of victories. I've done Rogan. I've done The Tonight Show, Gutfeld. I was on Last Comic Standing, got third place. There is nothing greater in my life than me catching that foul ball. It was my favorite moment of life. And I was rattled by it for the next 3 innings, just sitting there going, I can't believe I did that. And now I can forever say I caught a foul ball. It was pretty amazing. So anyways, with that being said, here's some fans who have had that exact same feeling. Maybe cooler than my catch, maybe some not as cool as my catch, but let's get into it.
Reaction. Is that priceless?
I'll tell you what, her phone is going to blow up right now.
All right, whose Nana is this, is what it says.
This is a bullet.
That is a laser.
Bang!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is awesome.
Look at that reaction. Is that priceless?
What a catch
I'll tell
from
you
her.
what, her phone is going to blow up right now.
I will say, before we go to the next one, she brought a glove. I feel like you get a little less credit when you catch it in a glove. I am not judging it. It's great. Good for her. Also, like, you don't usually see a woman of that age catching a baseball like that. She, like, backhanded it, and it was a laser. So I'm giving her full credit. I'm just saying it's a lot harder with a bare hand than a baseball glove that you brought to the game. I think if a foul ball comes near me when I have a glove, I'm 10 of 10 catching that. But if I got my bare hand, it's like the odds are like 1 in 10 that I'm catching that. It's pretty tough. Foul ball, Bobby Witt Jr. Oh, is that Bobby Witt? Yeah. All right, this guy caught it. Strong mustache, Sox fan.
Because you never know when there's one of these. And you make the catch.
Oh, big backhand over his lady. Rooker with a home run ball. Okay, this isn't a foul ball. It's just a backhand, bare hand with food in his hand. See, I think this is the strongest one. Great jersey, too. Old Cleveland Wild. Rick Vaughn, Wild Thing jersey. Look at that. That guy played baseball. Xander Bogaerts, $1 million foul ball. Winter hat. Okay, that's hard to do. That's harder than a bare hand. Catching it in your hat.
Style points.
Yeah. Manny Machado, laser. Two hand. Oh, that's a glove. Still a good catch.
You bring your glove to the yard, two-handed grab.
These announcers are very pro bring your glove to the yard. Even Machado gave him some love. That makes it worth extra.
Bring your glove. Lowers insurance rates at the ballpark.
Let me tell you, that's probably it. All right, I couldn't see it, but this little boy got it. All right.
I bet they'll show us a replay.
All right. I already love this just because his boys are dabbing him up. What a catch. What a catch. That makes me happy. Another glove, though, by the way.
Popped up, Kessinger long run. Won't get that. That's into the seats. Fan from Creve Coeur made a great catch.
Oh, did they save his friend's life?
That kid made a great catch. He got a heroic cheer. Great fielders in Creve
I think he
Coeur
saved his friend's life.
Kid reaches over and saves his seatmate from getting
That's amazing. That's amazing. That kid saved his friend's schnoz. Ooh.
Popped up and down a play.
All right.
You know that kid said, I had it, but you hit me.
I know, yeah, exactly. He's like, well, I wouldn't have hit my face because your glove was...
We got a drink.
Oh, these are classic. I am always shocked when this happens.
I don't know. In that cup. Now you feel like baseball's back. Here you go.
Oh, she didn't do it?
Oh, that just...
Yeah. It just went in her cup. She immediately went to her camera roll, too. Like, I'm going to take a photo of this. Pretty cool. She didn't do anything, but... Hey, I was at this game.
Yeah. One hand, save the children.
Oh, remember, this is a different guy. Sorry, my bad. I went to a game where one fan caught, like, 3 foul balls in that section in the same game. What a catch. Bare hand, dad power, dude. That one's... See, that's strong. Love that. Gives it to the boy. That's a good one.
If you talk to people with the Pittsburgh Pirates in that organization, players and front office,
This is another thing that happened when I caught mine. Everyone cheered so loud that I felt... Oh, what a catch. Bare hand. Nice.
Minimal spillage. That should be taken note.
Little beer action.
No problem.
Love that.
I think you got to chug it after that.
I think you chug it when you catch it in your beer. You seen those guys?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
If
I don't know how they do it.
I'm chugging that beer.
Oh, either way.
I got the...
No way, I'm good. I'll get this one. A one-hander? One-hander with a cold one.
One hand backhand.
See, while he was kind of sitting. Amazing. Nice catch over his girl's head.
All right, man. I'm impressed.
Dude, that guy rules.
Hey, dude, if she didn't like you when you got here tonight.
And he's holding his ice cream. That guy's like me. Yeah, bare hand with the ice cream.
97 miles an hour, we're told. I mean, come on.
I like that she dodged it. Javi Baez. No. Oh, wait, his cowboy hat? That's kind of fun.
Only points for the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
not the bounce.
And it was a bounce. It was no big deal. And traveling that far of a distance. But it's pretty funny that he grabs his hat off his head. That's pretty awesome.
Because he could have just as easily grabbed it, but he wanted the hat points.
Yeah, the hat points. He did get them. I'm giving him hat points.
Holy play. That was a jumping one-handed bare hand grab on a liner.
Oh, wow.
That's the play of the game right there.
A jump bare hand.
An Arenado jersey, I think. Fly out in a double. So, Oro, if you're wondering why the crowd is going nuts.
There you go, dude.
Oh, Dad.
With the baby. That's amazing. I think she gets to say she caught it. You know, it's like skydiving tandem. Like they caught a foul ball together.
Smoking an 0-2 hole.
That's a late cheer. Oh, he caught it in his beer and his drink. Jeez. He's drinking it like Stone Cold, dude. Oh, so the second cheer was him chugging it.
Yeah. I think it destroyed the cup. That's why. Look at it all gushing everywhere.
He's got it, dude. Yeah. That rules. That's you. Oh, over the edge? Oh, never mind. Why is this one on there? Someone caught it on a bounce?
So you're holding your baby. Oh. And you catch that?
On the bounce off.
And baby's fine.
On the fly, he said.
No, it came back.
We saw it bounce.
This man will go viral.
Payoff pitch coming from Peralta. And the fastball is sent in the air to right field.
Home run ball. Woo-hoo. Tell me that kid caught that.
The kid that dove?
If that kid caught that, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No. He did.
Oh,
that kid
sacrificing the body.
Rules, dude.
He's gonna have a bruise on those ribs.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Worth
Man.
it.
He's got bumps and bruises everywhere. Oh! Wait, did he?
Yeah.
Wow, bro. It's a perfect place to dive, too. All that soft grass out there, but what a catch. I saw a different ball roll away, so I thought that was it, but that's amazing.
In a loop and pinned up there.
That's amazing. Josh Hamilton. A lot of good guys hitting these foul balls. Oh, little kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's why you bring your glove to the ballpark right there.
In your face, old man. That's great.
Another Hamilton?
Same kid? Give me a break. 2 baseballs back to back. You're kidding me.
The guy behind him was on the phone saying you were just on TV trying to catch that last ball, too.
That's absolutely incredible. The odds of that are preposterous. And you know what's great is, or what sucks for me is when I caught the foul ball, we emailed the Dodgers. We're like, listen, is there any like footage we can find of the there's a lot of cameras. I know on the actual broadcast it wasn't on there. I checked, But why is there any way we could like try to check? And there's just no way to get the footage. If that kid told that story like in the 70s, like, oh, I caught a foul ball and then the very next pitch, I caught another foul ball. People are like, yeah, right. But like he has the footage.
Right.
Like he's forever got this legendary moment. My buddy Don Zolo caught a foul ball when nobody can find the footage of that. It's like you want the proof. You
got to be at a primetime game on Fox where they're got all the extra cameramen really going hard.
I just thought for like security purposes or like there should be one camera guy who's just always on the ball, you'd think. It doesn't matter. But anyways, big shout out to all those foul ball catchers. We love you. We love Bill Burr. And we love Shane Gillis. And we love Austin, Texas. We love Brant Tobler. And we all love you. Thank you for subscribing to Die Hard. I love you. I got a note from someone today on the internet. A total stranger said, hey, when you breathe in with these slurpy kind of in between things, it's tough to hear. So I've been trying to be conscious of it. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I don't know how. Maybe I'm not articulating as much as I can, or maybe I'm collecting spit in my mouth. I don't know what it is, but I'm working on it, and I'm going to fix it. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you to First Form. Thank you to Placencia Cigars. We love you. Thanks for being here.